everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Haley Gray, and I'm actually not in the driver's seat today because we are doing one of our amazing WEN Live events. This is Jaunai Walker, and she is the most amazing speaker. So without ado, I'm going to hand over the stage to her. So welcome, Jaunai. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and to be in really good company. And I just love this group, and I love the people here in this group, and I've made a lot of good friends. And so hopefully I'll get a chance to meet some more of you after today and make some more friends. But yeah, so my name is Jaunai Walker, and everyone just calls me Jay. And I am the Chief Inspiration Officer over at the Success Group, Inc. And I run a personal and professional development company. And one of the things that I have been able to create was the perfect pitch, irresistible sales conversations that convert, which is my latest baby that I was able to produce and to take some people through that training course. And then I'm also the founder over at Confident Women Crushing Their Goals, which is a goal and achievement group that's over on Facebook. So if you haven't had the opportunity to stop past, definitely swing past and introduce yourself and meet some really cool people over there. But today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the struggles that I've had personally. And I know that most of us are entrepreneurs, and a lot of times some of our personal stuff shows up in our career or in our business. And for me, it was low self-esteem and lack of confidence, right? And it started out when I was really, really, really young. And I can't really pinpoint like one particular incident. I can just tell you that it's something that I had struggled with for a very long time until my adult life, until I was able to actually identify that there was something that I needed to work on, and then be able to, put things into place to help me work on things. And I wanted to share with you that, after struggling with self-esteem, lack of confidence, and I have been able to go on and to have a pretty successful career in sales. I've actually am coming up on my 18 years of being a sales professional, which is almost, that's an accomplishment in itself, right? And let's see, about 13 or 14 of those years have been in medical sales, which is one of your top tier, highest level sales gigs that you can probably have in any career. And I went on to be a sales trainer. And so I've been able to take that knowledge and those skills and bring it over and correlate that into a business for myself, which is what I have done. And when I really tried to identify what was the core change in my shift, it really stemmed around the fact that I wanted to be a winner. Like I knew that even though I had this low self-esteem, I didn't really believe in myself. I knew that I really wanted to be a winner. Even from like a young age, I knew I wanted to be in business. I knew I wanted to be successful. And some of those things, how that showed up for me was, when most little girls were dreaming about their wedding and their home and their children, I was dreaming of business suits and heels and board meetings and giving presentations. And so when I got the opportunity to become a sales professional, I fell in love with the world of presenting, a world of making people's visions come true through business. And I really wanted to learn how to grow myself so that way I could grow my business. And so I started to correlate my activity, business, and in my job and in to football teams and to sports teams. And, I was a big football player. A big football watcher. I wish I was a football player, right? But I was a big NFL football watcher growing up. And so, one of the things that I saw the players come out. They were so confident. I saw that they were proud of their profession. Even when they didn't win, they still had smiles on their faces. And I'm like, wow, that is what I want to be. I want to be a winner. I want to play like that. I want to have a smile on my face, even when things don't go my way. So I slowly began to develop this mindset of a winner. And what I found out was that there was a lot of times when I was not going to win. Just like NFL teams, any other sports teams, there's going to be seasons, there's going to be, a year or a couple of years where they're just not going to be at the top of their game. So what I decided was, instead of always going for the big win, I would go for the score, right? Because those are small, short bursts of winning, right? Because you can't really win a game, any type of game, if you don't score. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, how we can continue to win, but win by focusing on the score. So what I want to say is that you can never, ever, ever lose any game if you always show up to win. If you show up to win, you cannot lose, right? And that's the mindset behind it. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is, first off, I have an acronym called SCORE, right? So we're going to be talking about how do you score in the game of business and in life in general. So the first S, SCORE, in SCORE, S, stands for show up. Right? Showing up to the game. You definitely cannot win any type of game if you don't show up. You will forfeit whatever you have coming to you. Even if that other team sucks, you will still lose that game if you don't show up. 80% of our battles is just showing up. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. What I learned in business, what I've learned in sales, what I've learned in any type of, competition that I've been a part of, is that there's a lot of people out there who will quit before they get to the big game. There's a lot of people out there who will not show up because their fears, their anxiety will get the best of them. Take, for example, a lot of times during the new year, we see it every year in January, February. There's a lot of people at the gym because they have a goal of losing weight, getting healthy. They're going to eat right. They're going to drink their water. They're going to do all of that, right? But then by April, May, June, the gym is like almost empty. You see like the regular people that have always been there. But those people who started showing up in January and February, they're not showing up anymore. So you can capitalize on that when you're in your business, right? You can say, I'm going to keep plugging away at this because I know that if I quit, I give somebody else the opportunity to win at my game. But if I don't show up, right, then I can't move. I can't score. So always, always, always show up for yourself, show up for your business, show up for your clients, show up for your customers, show up for your mission, right? So always show up. C stands for being consistent. Being consistent is so important. There's a lot of books out there that talk about habits, right? And this kind of talks to it, because when you program yourself to do something on a daily basis, whether it's 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, you build something what I like to call the big mo, or momentum, right? Momentum happens through your habit. So always try to do things on a daily basis and get yourself in the habit or the routine of doing something. And this is just a little way to trick your brain into thinking that you should automatically have a win in a short amount of time. Most wins take a longer amount of time. The bigger the win, the longer the amount of time. But nothing happens overnight. But everything happens through small, consistent activity. So the magic happens when you consistently do things over and over and over and over again. You build upon your skill set, right? You build that big mo. It's exactly what we need to do if we want to continue to show up. Building these little habits and being consistent helps you to show up on a daily basis. The third thing that you want to do, the O stands for being optimistic. Now, I will say that there's a difference between being optimistic and being confident. And let me just talk to being optimistic, because being optimistic is very important because it helps you to see the brighter side of things. And there's a lot of times when our brains try to sneak back over into what I like to call the stinking thinking area, right? So when we're being optimistic, that means that we're actively staying away from people that we consider to be negative Nancy, right? It's saying, sometimes we get into our funks, right? Where we just need to sit out for a day or so, and that's fine. But remember, the next day you have to get back up there, right? And being optimistic allows you to focus on your daily wins, and it allows you to not waste time on what you can't control. But here's the biggest difference between being optimistic and being confident. When you're optimistic, it's mainly up here, right? You're thinking yourself positive, right? When you are confident, you are taking those positive thoughts and you are correlating them to your activity, to your actual movement, to your activity, right? So let's not just be optimistic. Let's focus on being optimistic, but let's practice being confident. And confidence comes from your actions. So I want to say this, as a person who has struggled with low self-esteem, a lot of that had to do with my negative self-talk. And I know that we all have it. And even the most positive person that you will ever meet struggles with it. It's just something that happens, right? But we need to find ways to beat out that self-talk, whether it's being around more positive people, right? Reading positive books, or even meditating and visualizing ourselves being successful. Little did I know that envisioning my career as if I was a football player was allowing me to visualize success. And I believe that that was the saving grace for me personally, me as a person, not just as an employee, not just as an entrepreneur, but me personally. So find something that you can hold on to, that you can grab onto, to give yourself those positive thoughts, and in relation, your self-talk will definitely change to positive. The next letter that I wanted to talk to you was R. So we did the S, we did the C, we did the O, and now we're going to do the R. The R stands for being resilient. Now, I found this a lot when I started coaching back in 2016. I saw a lot of people who wanted to start their businesses, but for whatever reason, they decided that their business was not going to work. And they made those decisions within sometimes even 6 months or less of starting their business. We have to learn how to be resilient in our businesses, resilient in our careers. So how do we become resilient? We have to understand that we are going to lose a lot of the time, right? There's going to be things that are not going to go right. And that's okay. So we need to be prepared for that. And I think where a lot of people go wrong when they begin this entrepreneurship journey, a lot of them are heart-centered, right? So a lot of times when people are opening their businesses, it's because they really want to make an impact in other people's lives. And that is great, right? Will be able to do that, but there's so many other skills that goes along with it, like marketing, like your systems and processes, something as simple as email marketing, right? There's so many buttons that could go wrong in your business, but we have to learn that there's going to be a lot of things that could potentially go wrong, and that is okay. Also, let's think about some of the people in history that have also been resilient. If you look at Abraham Lincoln, and I know I'm talking history and I've taken history maybe like 30, 40 years ago. But if we look back, Abe Lincoln, he lost every single election, every single time. And if he had given up the last time that he lost, never would have won president of the United States. So let's think about that. When we think about something always going wrong, there's always that potential for that next yes. And we need to remember that. You have to know within here that you are going to win. You have to know that you have what it takes to make it happen. And people like Oprah Winfrey, when she was told that she would never make it as a broadcast journalist, and we see where she is now. We see where all of those no's have landed her. It only took that one yes, right? It only took that one yes. So never give up. Never give up on your dream. Be resilient. The last thing I want to talk about is the E. And this is the most important. And this is how you will set yourself up for success. And I have a lot more information where this comes from as well. And before I get into the last tidbit, I do want to say, if you guys are enjoying this information that I'm sharing with you today, I would love to talk with you more in detail about how, you can turn around your mindset. If you're interested in sales and marketing training, I would love to show you how we can partner together. But I just want to say that the last tidbit, E, is expect to pay the price. Expect to pay the price to win, because if we go in it thinking that things are going to be handed to us, you're automatically setting yourself up to fail. So most time you're not going to see a result really fast, or the result that you want, but you have to figure out a way to keep yourself going so that you can get to your ultimate prize. And remember that the difference between hot and boiling is only 1 degree. And so it only takes 1 degree for you to really turn up the heat in your business, in your career, and in your life. And thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this little talk with you guys. And I look forward to connecting with you through the group. Thank you so much, Miss Haley.